Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday morning here in Tokyo. I know for many of my American-based friends, it's Sunday evening and I believe Veterans Day. So, although we really don't do it in Australia per se, when I was living there, to all those Americans, thank you for your service. And as a former Defense Force person, I was in the Army, for those who didn't know. When I was in the States, actually, I found it quite interesting to hear that get spoken a lot. It's just something that doesn't happen in Australia. I think they are making inroads into kind of changing that. They've just announced some kind of veteran card. So for those businesses that want to offer kind of rewards or discounts to military personnel, that's just kind of starting. So, however, so all those that serve, good on you. What I wanted to talk about today, and it's just going to be a brief one, is that one thing that really, thank you for your service, thank you. Well, that one thing that really makes a difference in my business. And I know it's the woo-woo stuff. And believe me, I saw the importance of it. And in all my previous businesses as well, I would participate in doing it, but it really wasn't. Sorry, I'm just testing. Yeah, it's Robin. Hey, Robin, how are you? It really wasn't something that I really got, until I started to put more time, more effort. And then more importantly, then I started to see the people around me that were ultra successful, and the common thread through all of it. And then I'm going to talk about, this is years ago. The common thread through all of it was that these people were doing some kind of, you either want to call it mindset work, some call it heart set work, but they were taking care of their level, their energy level, of their focus, of their conscious thought. And they were really, absolutely, it became a part of their routine, as important as it is for you to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or if you're having an important meeting with a client and you've got to close a deal. It is as important as that. And certainly over the last year in particular for me as well, it's become a essential part of my success over the last year in particular. And it really is getting yourself into that routine of working and putting your thoughts and energy into the right place, right? So I want you to kind of think about this. Think of where your mind goes when you start to worry, when you start to get concerned about something, when you start to think of your problems, when something goes wrong. How much time do you dedicate to thinking on that, on thinking? And now switch that over. Imagine how powerful that would be if you took all that time and energy that you focus on the negative stuff, on the stuff that goes wrong in your business, on the problems that you have, and you flip it and you give all that time to all your wins, to all your successes, to all your celebrations, to all your distinctions that you made, all the learnings that you've made. Wouldn't that be bloody great? Absolutely. Too much, Robin. And it is so true. So many of us will linger in that state. And why don't we linger in the positive? And I know this sounds weird, but believe me, when I've been surrounded by multimillionaires and go to masterminds of coaches that coach on this themselves as well, and have 7-figure coaching businesses and 8-figure coaching businesses, every single one of them have a regime that they follow, that they absolutely follow to a T. And those that do it at the highest level, hey, Rad, those that, and Lionel, good to see you, few people, Roy, those that absolutely follow it and do it, that is the difference. It has come down to their strength, their conviction, their vision, their focus, and the way that they are reacting to those situations. And it's like anything. The more you do it, it's like priming yourself. So when those shitty things happen, because they will come, those problems are always going to come, it's the way that you react to it. It really is. And of course, if you are setting the stage every day by putting yourself into that state, by showing that gratitude, by showing that, it is just so powerful. And I've seen it in myself, because when I slip into those moments of self-pity, when I slip into those moments of like self-doubt, the great thing now is that I'm pulling myself out of them so fast. And before I would linger in them. So this is the thing. I still suffer exactly the same. I don't want to say suffer. I still get the same emotions. I still get the same fears, worries, concerns about my businesses. Now, my businesses are doing fine. They're doing great. They're absolutely doing great. And they're making lots of money. They're making lots of money. However, even despite that, and even despite all the millions that I've made over the years, I will still, the fear will still come. The worry will still come. The concern will still come. Now, what I do now, though, is rather than sitting in it for a day or a half a day or even a few hours, or before, it might be on my mind for like 3 or 4 days. It is literally in there less than a minute. I absolutely will isolate it, will absolutely crush it as fast as possible and replace it with something else. Because it's so true, whatever you think of, whatever you're thinking of, that's what you're going to become. It just is. And I know it sounds woo-woo, but I've seen it in practice over and over again. And the people that are absolutely crushing it and that are doing it from a place of service, are doing it from a place of, it's their heart is leading their business as well. They are all doing a routine. They all follow something. And that's what I do as well. And I'll share a couple of things that I do. And this is all, my coaches have taught me this, have guided me through this. And, I've looked at different permutations and found what works for me. So, the people that have really influenced me on this, Mark von Musa, Russ Ruffino, Lisa Toster. I mean, they have helped me. Jane Jewell. These people have helped me with this over and over and over again. And then looking at people in my mastermind, they are doing it at a level that, when I witnessed, and I realized as well, sometimes I was just going through the motions of meditating, going through the motions of doing different activities. And what I do every morning, just to let you know what I do, is that and this is a great Mark von Musa, I have 2 journals that I write in, and I go through one of these every, 40 days or something. And I keep one a brag book. And in the brag book, every single day, I write in it for about 5-10 minutes, just wins, anything I can think of, anything that I've won at in the past. It can be, just presently, it can be something just in the past. It can be something from way back in the past. I just write all my wins that I can think of. And then I write any of the wins from my family and friends. And I write the wins of my clients, anything that I've had kind of any impact on. I just write and write and write and just write all the wins down. That's it, just the wins. It's my brag book. It is my book. You do need to do it, Robin. It absolutely is essential. And you need to do it for at least 2 months before it starts becoming a habit. I think 63 days is the average for a habit to be formed. But I tell you what, every time you write in the win, you write the wins down. It is just really, really powerful. The second thing I do is I have a gratitude journal. And in the gratitude journal, I do the same thing. I write down everything that I'm grateful for. Grateful for my clients, grateful for my family, grateful for my kids, just everything I can write. And I write down in future pace the goals that I want I'm writing down as if I've achieved them already. So the subconscious mind, it can't tell the difference, what's real or what's not real. It only can tell what you're putting into it. So I'm future pacing. My gratitude for things that I want. I'm bringing it forward and I'm writing in it every single day. And then the other thing I've done, this was a great one. A couple of my mindset coaches talk about it quite often, and I tell my clients about it, is the belief stacks. When you have a limiting belief that's causing you to have sales issues, that's causing you not to achieve what you want, you've got to start doing, they are different. The brag book and the gratitude journal are different. I do a belief stack. So what I've got at the back of my brag book, which I have to rewrite each time, and it takes up 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, is I have 70 reasons why my LinkedIn mastery coaching and my coaching is the best in the world. Better than all the guys that are out there. I have 70 reasons why mine is the best. Not one reason, not 2, not 3, but I have 70 reasons, 70 beliefs about my coaching that make it the absolute best. And, when I get someone who email, someone will watch my webinar and decide to email me and say it's crap. Okay, great. It happens like maybe once every 4 months or so. But, there's people there that will take the time to do that. Thanks for that. However, with my belief stack, there's 70 reasons why I know my coaching is the absolute best in the world on LinkedIn Mastery. It just is. It just is. And the way that I pointed out, guys, this is a table, right? If you only have one leg, one belief about your coaching or your product or your service, how unstable it is, right? But guys, it gets a little bit more stable when I chuck that many under there. When I have 70 under there, it's just dead stable. And belief stacking can be really, really powerful when you identify in yourself a belief that is causing you to limit your potential. And you can do it on anything. But when you force yourself to list out a belief stack, man, they're so powerful. They're so powerful. So every day I write in my gratitude journal, I write in my brag book, I read every day my 70 belief stack. Yeah, I read it every day, and then it gets rewritten every month and a half or so. It started off with 20, then went to 25, then went to 30, then went to 40, then to 50, then to 60, then I took it to 70. And I tell you what, having that belief stack, when someone tries to poo-poo you, it doesn't matter because it's just not true. The other thing that I do, and this was a really good one, something I'll share from one of my masterminds with Jane Jewell, who is, a coach to billionaires. She's been a coach to billionaires. And it was really about, and this is something that Russ Ruffino also taught me, and I really paid attention to and saw the big difference, was when we talk about, having a vision for something. I mean, that guy his vision is so intense. And even when he's coaching about it, when you hear him talk about it, you feel it from him and you see the disposition change in his face. You see when he puts himself into it. And that was a real aha moment for me because I do a lot of vision work and I would go through it, but I was really going through it more as something like, I know I should be doing this. And more like a kind of a checklist. Yeah. Rather than really putting myself into the state where it just kind of the wave of gratitude, the wave of completeness just washes over you. And so what I did, I reset my alarm clock. I took it back, normally up anyway, but normally I beat it. But I make sure I set it back about 15 minutes extra to my routine. And I do it in the shower, so I'm just alone in the mornings. And I set myself now, I put myself, and this is a great little tip, I put myself into a movie. basically I have a movie, I have a film that I've created, and this came directly from Russ. I have a film that I've created that is my future goal. It is my future where I see myself. Yeah. And it's got some really big goals in there. Some really, really big goals. And basically it's a film of me doing a day activity, a certain day. And it's, I envisage it as hopefully a normal day. Well, not hopefully, it will be a normal day in the future. And I sit down, have the water on my back, it's really nice. And I put myself into that movie. I'm quite a visual person anyway. So I will visualize that and I will just have that and I will sit there and I will replay that over and over again. Then I go into, thanking and gratitude as well. I not only write it and talk about it, but I also will just say it, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for that, I'm grateful for this. And I just say it. And I keep on doing it till I can feel that shift, that change. Now, you've got to first have that to be able to recognize it. So, having someone to help you with that is awesome, or someone to guide you is great. I had that reinforced again recently when I was in Hawaii, when we did an exercise that really kind of put me back into it and had the absolute feeling kind of wash over. And I was like, yeah, that's it. I've got to capture that every single day. So every morning, I force myself to do that. Now, the reason I do it both there and when I write things down, because when I'm thinking it, I can get distracted easily. I can start doing it, and then I start going off looking for a solution for something. I've got to pull myself back. So sometimes it can take about 15, 20 minutes for me to get into that flow. Writing down, I find it reinforces and it keeps me focused, and I can really get it out there. But it absolutely is a must. And then there's, during the day, as stuff happens, and stuff will happen, I do have some, I call it mindset triage activities that I do to kind of clear the mind, to reposition myself, to regain that energy. And it does involve, picking up my brag book and reading through it. It does involve reading my belief stack. As Mark von Muster would say, soundtrack of awesomeness. I have a list of songs on iTunes that I just start cranking out there, and I play that, and I play that, and I play that. I change my physiology. A great one, Jane Jewell talk is about changing the physiology, and Mark von Muster talks about changing the physiology. I took on the superhero of Thor, so I keep my Thor hammer with me. It's always here. I know it sounds so stupid, right? But it's just so true. When I stand up and I assume the position of Thor and I chant stuff, which I won't do here because that's going to embarrass me, and I say that all the time, but it's true. And I have like AC/DC Thunderstruck Flame because I love Akadaka, as we say in Australia, Akadaka. I love Akadaka. I'll have a whole host of other songs as well. And I will be chanting, and I change my physiology. And it is truly a mindset triage. So when something goes shitty, when someone, and I'm on the DISC assessment. If you've ever done this DISC assessment, I'm a 99D, 99I. So, I've got to channel. My default energy is anger. It's aggression. That's my default. And I will go there very, very quickly. And I have to channel that differently. So rather than like, fuck that person, and go nuts on that person that's causing it, I've got to channel that high D, that high aggression into, well, they're not going to beat me. I'm going to show them. I'm going to, and really, really change it. Be careful your channel. Yeah, we'll channel a real thunderstorm. Right? So I've got to channel that way. So I tell you what, doing that kind of activity, Thor, there you go. Cool. Sons, what a great name. Get him a Thor hammer. Get him a Thor hammer. So, I channel that and I stand up, my hands on my freaking waist, I'm holding this and I'm doing that. And I might have to do that 2-3 times a day because stuff happens. But I want to remain I want to remain at the highest possible energy level. I want to keep my brain focused on just the wins, because your brain's like an empty cup. And as soon as it's empty, what creeps in? It's negative. Our brain is there to keep us safe, right? Our brain is there to keep us safe. And what it does to keep us safe is it looks for problems. It looks for worries, concerns. So unless you are filling your brain up with the positive stuff, with the woo-woo, and if you don't believe it, I guarantee you there's I haven't met anyone, certainly not in the multi-million-dollar range, that isn't doing this kind of activity. Now, they may not consciously be doing it like I'm doing it. Some of them are in that high state all the time. There's some people that are high eyes. They're a bit delusional as well. They're a bit nutso, and not in a politically incorrect way, but they're at that level. And what they do, though, they talk it. Everyone they meet, they're talking about success. The words that they choose impacts their life. There are some people that are just naturally at that state. I'm not. I've got to work on it. I've got to absolutely work on it. Otherwise, I will slip. I will slip into that negative zone, and I will hammer myself. I will beat myself up. And it's not a place where you want to be, because if you are also responsible for your business development, for the sales of your organization, if you bring that energy, if you bring that mindset onto a call, into a sales presentation, if you put that energy out there, you will get it back worse. You will get it back worse. And I kind of noticed it today, because today I was kind of feeling like, I want to get some, I had an issue with Facebook advertising over the last month. It was just, they were just being not fun to deal with. And our ads got shut off and had to appeal multiple times. It was just a process. Now, it forced me to do some other activity, which is good, and get some redundancy and put in some plans that I should have done 8 months ago, and I've left them, but they are in place now. However, today I was feeling a bit tired. It was a pretty big weekend. I had 3 breakthrough sessions scheduled for this morning, and I didn't set the intention last night, which I normally do, and I didn't really set the intention this morning to have 3 awesome calls. I'm going to speak to 3 fantastic business owners. I'm going to find out what's working for them, what's not working for them. If I can help them, awesome. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to show them, I'm going to take them from scarcity, I'm going to take them to abundance. I didn't set that. And the energy was more like, yeah. And what happened? Well, all 3 have no-showed, or they've canceled or rescheduled or something. Chance or coincidence, I don't know. But what I find is when my mindset is off, when I'm not focused, when I'm not 1,000% behind what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve in my businesses, then I get the result that brings. And that's normally not what I want. That's normally not what I want. Yeah, it's like a hooky stone woo, but for sure. Yeah, it is. It is. And unless you do it, and unless you participate in it, then that's the missing piece. And so many people, because I met a ton of people with skill, a ton of people with education, a ton of people much, much smarter than me, and that are just failures. It's as simple as that. They're not going anywhere. But those that are absolutely determined, those that are absolutely focused, those that are keeping in that energy, keeping that laser focus, they are the ones that are having success. Because what it also leads into the activity that you do every day. And if you have a business model that works, then all you have to do is master it. You don't need all the bells and whistles. You don't need every new chatbot or freaking this or that or this software that comes out. You just don't need it. All you need is focus and mastery. Focus and mastery. And that comes from putting yourself into a state of gratitude, of belief. It doesn't have to be to a higher power. If you don't believe in God, I don't believe in a God per se. I believe in energy in the universe and everything like that. And I that's just me. but I express gratitude for it. I put the energy out there into the world. And I just find that when I don't do it, when I skip it, and when I'm not focused, that is when things go off the track. They just do. And then I have to pull it back. I just have to pull it back. So there are some activities, guys, that I hope that you can. That they have massive traffic. There you go. It is. So I hope that can help. Some of the stuff that I read that can be good for you. And this is one of Russ Ruffino's. He put me onto these people. Joseph Murphy. He's got stuff as his books like. Learn to Let Go in Life, Supreme Mastery of Fear, Abide in the Silence, Riches Are Your Right, The Master Key to Wealth. Anything by Joseph Murphy is pretty good. There is a heavy religious undertone to it. That's fine. But Joseph Murphy, his stuff is really, really good. Neville Goddard, his stuff is also very good. And Felix, Felix, Dennis, Dennis, How to Get Rich. And a lot of that, it is all on the mindset. And believe me when I say this, when I started doing this activity years ago, over a decade ago, as I said, I've grown and developed. And I'm always looking to grow in that area. And Hawaii, that most recent trip, the mastermind coaching that I was at, that took me to another level, which was just awesome. So you can always get better and better and better and better and better. These are. I only recommend stuff that I read, Robin. So these all will just help. This just helps tremendously. And I tell you what, when I've spoken to and listened to people like Russ and the differences, and then look at some of our guys in the mastermind, the ones that are absolutely there, it is that strength of mindset, that strength of focus, that clarity, and then that consistent and persistent application of it daily. You've just got to do it daily. It has to become a natural part of what you do. So anyway, that's what I wanted to come on and talk about. I hope that kind of helps. If you have any questions, just reach out. If you want any other book recommendations, I can happy to share and take it from there. And Steve, you just jumped on as I'm getting off. So hi, Steve. All right, guys, have a great one. Rest of your day. For those that are starting tomorrow, Monday, good luck. Monday's pretty good, I can tell you now. It's already lunchtime here on Monday here in Tokyo. It's been a pretty good day. So hopefully it'll be good for you too. All right. Adios. I'm out of here. See you later, guys.